Good morning, TGIF. Finally, we are at Friday. I am PK. This is Bookeemonsters, and we are here this morning to look at the last of the new releases. We do this every day of the week. Monday, we typically do mysteries. Tuesdays, we do romances. Wednesdays typically are the fantasy sci-fi. And yesterday we did straight fiction. And today we're going to pick up some of the others that are some of the cozy, some of the romances, and others. Mary, good morning. I tell you, it's been a long week. I'm ready. We finally got some much need. Oh, good job. It's okay to be greedy about rain. It's okay. It's okay. All right. I'm going to go into here. Going to do that. Going to go into here. Let's jump in. That 25 minutes goes by really super fast. And I believe we were at the Sandra Brown. I remember you mentioning that. We didn't have a chance to look at it. This is Out of Nowhere by Sandra Brown. At a Texas county fair, amidst carousels and a bustling midway, children's book author Elle Portman is enjoying a rare night out with her favorite cowboy, her 2-year-old son, Charlie. Aw. But just as they're about to head home, the unthinkable happens. A shooter opens fire into the crowd, causing widespread panic to erupt all around them. Also caught in the melee was corporate consultant Calder Hudson. Of course, because that's what heroes are called. Arrogant, self-centered, and high off his latest career win, he's frustrated and confused when he wakes up in the hospital after undergoing emergency surgery on his arm. The doctor tells him that he was lucky, that as far as gunshot wounds go, he pulled through remarkably well. Others weren't so lucky, which instills in Calder a furious determination to get justice, a goal shared by Elle. Their chance encounter at the police station leads to a surprising and inexplicable gravitation to one another, and even as the attraction grows, Elle and Calder can't help but wonder if the unimaginable tragedy that brought them together is too painful and too complicated to sustain, especially while the shooter remains at large. That's rather timely. You started a new book, Atomic Habits. That sounds good. All right. Picture You Dead, I believe, is a paperback release of something that came out last year, Positively Penelope, romance, contemporary Christian. It's a cute cover by Pepper Basham. Dear reader, my name is Penelope, and while I may not be a real-life princess, I've been told I possess a certain fairy tale heroine quality. I wield optimism as my weapon of choice, the most powerful there is. Don amazing shoes and vintage hats whenever possible, and speak in musical references, all of which perfectly qualifies me to succeed in my new role as a marketing intern at the historic Darling House Theater on the island of Skymar. Only, it seems this internship position is going to be a lot bigger than I thought. The Gray family, who owns the theater, has been stuck in a rut of darkness ever since the loss of their matriarchs. Now all that's left is a dying theater, a reclusive grandfather, 3 siblings, and an adorable 7-year-old girl who desperately needs some pixie dust magic. So that's what the story is about. My plans to save the theater. Plans that somehow keep being stolen by a local competitor, and an anonymous online theater troupe, and 2 single brothers who may be vying for this American girl's heart. Until they're not, or maybe they just want me for my ideas too, and a dream job offer that will require me to make a truly heart-wrenching decision. I may not excel at finishing stories, but I promise to see this one through to its happily ever after. Positively, Penelope. That sounds cute. Hey, Lee! You made it this morning. Gonna do some stretching and listen to you talk about new books. You betcha. Like I say, not every book is for everybody, but you don't know what's out there until you look at everything. And that's what this show is about. Awesome. Love that. Alrighty, let's jump in again. The Reckoning by Catherine Coulter, I think, again, is another paperback release of something that came out last year. Shadows and Sage, I think we looked at that one. Brandon Sanderson, that one is also, I think, a release from last year. Sherlock Holmes and the Silver Cord, that one I believe is new and right up my alley. And we don't need to see that. I Speak of Magic, Mr. Holmes. This is Sherlock Holmes and the Silver Cord by M.K. Wiseman. Poor Mr. Percy Simmons. Well, of course he's poor Mr. Percy Simmons. He's got the name Percy. The appearance. Leader of London's Theosophical Order of Odic Forces, stands upon the hearthrug at 221B Baker Street, slowly mangling his hat brim in ill-concealed distress and fully aware that his is not a case which Mr. Sherlock Holmes would ordinarily take up. These are not ordinary times, however, for something some unquiet demon within Holmes, blah, blah, coffee is required, stirs into discomfiting wakefulness under the occultist's swords. This unassuming Mr. Simmons has, in addition to his more fantastical claims, spoken of good and evil with the sort of pure conviction and sincerity of soul that Sherlock yearns for, something Holmes sought for himself during the 3 years in which the world thought him dead. Well, for all intents, constructions, and purposes, he was dead. But 6 months ago, Sherlock Holmes gave up that chase. He returned to Baker Street, declared himself alive to friend and foe alike, took up his old rooms, his profession, and his partnership with Dr. J. Watson, only to find himself haunted still by the questions which had followed him out of the dreadful chasm of Reichenbach Falls. Why? Why had he survived when his enemy had not? To what end? And had there ever truly been such a thing as justice, such a thing as good or evil? I'm reading this. And of course, I picture Sherlock as Benedict Cumberbatch. And that version had the best Moriarty ever. That was just a perfect. I never used to like Sherlock Holmes. Robert Downey Jr. also did a very, very good job. But I picture Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict, yes. Oh, the people who get to watch that, like, one after the other, and we had to wait years. People don't know the pain. Sun damage. I think this might be a yep, it is. It's a paperback release of a hardcover. Only new things here. African Samurai. That looks like a very interesting cover by Craig Shreve. I think there's a better way to say that. Hang on, coffee's required. Set in late 16th century Africa, India, Portugal, and Japan, The African Samurai is a powerful historical novel based on the true story of Yasuke, Japan's first foreign-born samurai and the only samurai of African descent. In 1579, these are my historicals, yes. In 1579, a Portuguese trade ship sails into port at Kuchinotsu, Japan, loaded with, see, they do this to me early in the morning. Why? With European wares and weapons. On board is Father Alessandro Valignano, an Italian priest and Jesuit missionary whose authority in Central and East Asia is second only to the Pope's. Beside him is his protector, a large and imposing East African man. Taken from his village as a boy, sold as a slave to Portuguese mercenaries, and forced to fight in wars in India, the young but experienced soldier is haunted by memories of his past. from that town. Father Valignano leads an expedition pushing inland toward the capital city of Kyoto. A riot brings his protector in front of the land's most powerful warlord, Oda Nobunaga. Nobunaga is preparing a campaign to complete the unification of a nation that's been torn apart by over 100 years of civil war. In exchange for permission to build a church, Valignano gives his protector to Nobunaga, and the young East African man is reminded once again that he is less of a human and more of a thing to be traded and sold. After pledging his allegiance to the Japanese warlord, the two men from vastly different worlds develop a trust and respect for one another. The young soldier is granted the role of samurai, a title that has never been given to a foreigner. He is also given a new name, Yasuke. Not only are not all are happy with Yasuke's ascension. There are whispers that he may soon be given his own fief, his own servants, his own samurai to command. But all of his dreams hinge on his ability to protect his new lord from threats, both military and political, and from enemies both without and within. That sounds kind of interesting. Only 304 pages, though. That's a lot of story for a lot for such a short book. Mary, enjoying some fresh peaches for my breakfast this morning. That is excellent and healthy. All right, we were up here. The Apology, The Art of Scandal, The Body Below. I'm just going to do a little scan here because time is going by. The Book of Witches, The Bookbinder, we did look at that. The Burning, The Brightest Stars novel, romancing adult. The Connollys of County Down. I don't think did we look at that one? I think we did. Do you don't think so? Okay. I'm gonna close down some of my tabs here. The Connollys of County Down by Tracy Lang. When Tara Connolly is released from prison after serving 18 months on a drug charge, she knows rebuilding her life at 30 years old won't be easy. Yeah, we did. Remember, it was 30 years old and she was starting over. I think we did do that one. All right. I believe you, Mary. I believe you. We'll go through it. Um, who are both busy with no money and no prospects. She returns home to live with her siblings, who are both busy with with their own problems. Her brother, a single dad, struggles with the ongoing effects of a brain injury he sustained years ago, and her sister's fragile facade of calm and order is cracking under the burden of big secrets. Life becomes even more complicated when the cop who put her in prison keeps showing up unannounced, leaving Tara to wonder what. Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. That's okay though. It's a pretty cover. The Deja Glitch, we looked at that. The Embroidered Book, gorgeous cover, but that is a re-release. I did check that. The End of August, Fiction Family Life. The Fortunes of Jaded Women. That sounds like a soap opera. And it might also be a release, a paperback release from last year. Yep, it is. Hacienda, I know that's from last year. House Guest. I don't think we looked at this one because I'm familiar with that author. Let's look at this one. But maybe it came out last year. Came out earlier this year. The Hyena and the Hawk. I applaud this website for being truly comprehensive, but it would be nice to be able to weed out Keeper of Hidden Books. We looked at that. The Look Back Window, Thriller, Legal, LGBTQ, The Love Script, The Lover, The Men Can't Be Saved, Multicultural, The Ninth Hour, The Peach Seed, Romance. Now that does not sound familiar. And it's new. The Peach Seed by Anita Gale Jones. That's a pretty cover. Fletcher Dukes and Altovise Benson reunite after decades apart, and A Mountain of Secrets in this debut exploring the repercussions of a single choice and how an enduring talisman challenges and holds a family together. On a routine trip to the Piggly Wiggly in Albany, Georgia, widower Fletcher Dukes smells a familiar perfume, then sees a tall woman the color of paper shell pecans with a strawberry birthmark on the nape of her neck. That is a very strange description. He knows immediately that she is his lost love, Altovise Benson. Well, he should, because he's looking at her. Okay, we're going to overlook things like this. Their bond, built on county fairs, sit-ins, and marches, once seemed a sure and forever thing, but their marriage plans were disrupted when the police turned a peaceful protest violent. Before Altovise fled the South, Fletcher gave her a peach seed monkey with diamond eyes. As we learn via harrowing flashbacks, an enslaved ancestor on the coast of South Carolina carved the first peach seed, a talisman that ever since each father has gifted his son on his 13th birthday. Giving one to Altovise initiated a break in tradition, irrevocably shaping the lives of generations of Dukeses. Recently, Fletcher has made do on his 7 acres with his daughter, Florida's check-ins, his drop biscuits, and his faithful dog. But as he begins to reckon with long ago choices, he finds he isn't the only one burdened with unspoken truths. An indelible portrait of a family. The Peach Seed explores how kin pass down legacies of sorrow, joy, and strength. And it is a parable of how a glimmer of hope, as small as a seed, can ripple across generations. I think there is, okay, opinion time. I think there is probably a good story in there, but from the description, it sounds like it needs an editor. An editor needs to work with that a little bit more. Not saying it's not a good book. It was just sort of hard to follow there. House guest is this year. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. They should put reprints in another section of their own. They should, or at least be able to let us filter it out like the other place. It does sound like all over the place. I think there's like bits and pieces of really interesting story, but it 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 needs an editor. The Puzzle of Blackstone Lodge, Rachel Savernick, Golden Age Mystery. All right, that one's new. Martin Edwards, very good historical mystery author. Uh, is a completely layered mystery perfect for fans of impossible mysteries inspired by Agatha Christie. Martin Edwards pens the perfect lock tower puzzle with a gothic edge set in 1930s Northern England. Did we look at this one? Why are these all sounding so familiar to me? Am I in a deja vu? 1930, Nell Fagan is looking for a second chance at a career in investigative journalism, and the call of Blackstone Fells Sanatorium is irresistible. In 1606, a man vanished from a locked gatehouse in a remote Yorkshire village, and 300 years later, it happened again. Well, there's a pattern there. 300 years later, Nell confides in the best sleuth she knows, Rachel Sabernick. Looking for answers, Rachel travels to lonely Blackstone Fell in Yorkshire with its eerie moor and sinister tower. With help from her friend Jacob Flint, who's determined to expose a fraudulent clairvoyant, Rachel will risk her life to bring an end to the disappearance of Blackstone Fell, where people go in but never come out. I don't hate it. Yeah, it is, throw in everything, like and it sounds like that author from the previous book had a whole lot of, ideas and maybe personal life experience that they were trying to put in there, but it just needed, something else. Roommate Pact, we looked at that. That one's actually a Harlequin. The Secret Midwife by Soria Lane. Oh, it's also Kindle Unlimited if you wanna read it for free, if you have Amazon Prime. The Secret Midwife by Soria M. Lane. London, 1995. When, on the 50th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, a news broadcast runs an appeal for information on the identity of a midwife who saved hundreds of lives, Amelia knows it's time to finally tell her story. Occupied Poland, 1942. Despite the constant presence of German soldiers in her village, Amelia is allowed certain freedoms as a midwife. The most precious is innocently cycling past Nazi checkpoints to the homes of expectant mothers on her rounds. But Amelia has a secret. For years, she's also been visiting the hidden Jewish mothers and working for the resistance until she is betrayed. Suddenly a prisoner of Auschwitz, Amelia is surrounded by horror and despair. When she is put to work as a midwife in the camp, she realizes that she has a chance to bring a small glimmer of hope to the pregnant women of Auschwitz. Alongside a brave imprisoned doctor, Alexei, and an innocent outcast, Lena, she comes up with a plan that, if discovered, could mean a fate far worse than death, but if they act undetected, they could save countless lives. And we are out of time, so we're just going to do a quick skim here. The Summer Between Us, The War Pianist, The Way Life Should Be, There's No Coming Back from This by Anne Garvin, There's Something About You by Anne Roth, Those We Thought We Knew, Three Fires by Denise Mina. She's a mystery author. Thrive by Krista and Becca Ritchie, a romance. Time's Mouth by Eden Lepucki. To Catch a Storm. Some of these we looked at. Western Alliances, What Never Happened, When We Were Sisters by Fatima Asghar, Wild Island Love. I know we looked at the Cold World one. Witness by James Brinkley, Young Bloomsbury, nonfiction photography. If you want to go more in depth with this, 25 minutes is just not enough, but I'm sorry, that's all I got each morning. This is freshfiction.com. And the other one that we look at is bookriot.com. So that is what we've got today. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. I hope you're reading good things this weekend. Share in the comments if you like what you're going to be reading this weekend. If you're going to be doing something fun. I am not doing anything. I'm not doing anything, which makes me very, very happy. I'm just going to be reading, do stuff around the house, walk Q several times, take some naps, things like that. Uh, Watch some sprints. We've got sprints on Bookish Knitter sometime tomorrow. I think it's either 12 or 1 o'clock my time. And then Sunday is on Tiffany's channel, which is Beach Bum Bookworm. So be sure to tune in on that. Mondays are either Lee's channel, Dark Roots Creations, or Storm's channel. Stormy's, I'll have to put that in the description. I apologize, Storm. Lee, you have a fabulous day. I so appreciate you showing up. Mary, hope you all have a great day. Love to know what you got sketched. And her name is Lee. Have a show tomorrow. And so, oh, that's right. Good luck on that show. You're going to do awesome. You're going to sell so many things. You're going to have to tell us about it on Monday on Thunder Horse Descendant. All right. So, everybody, I love all of you for showing up. Thank you so much. We'll see you again Monday at 6 a.m. We'll go through the new releases starting next week. And then I'll probably be doing sprints again Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So have a great Friday, a wonderful weekend, and thank you so much. Bye.